Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1789. Get to cross another one off. Yes, getting close to that 1826. Tonight we're talking about The Man Who Knew Too Much from 1956, but we don't have a lot to say to it because we actually stopped watching it partway through. It was not because it was a boring movie. It was because I couldn't focus on the movie. I kept losing the plot. My brain was all over the place. And so I made the decision to stop watching the movie because I had completely lost track of the plot. And it had nothing to do with the movie. I totally forgot it was Alfred Hitchcock. It requires a little more concentration than I was prepared to give it last night. So we watched it partway through. And now we're going to put it aside till the weekend, and we will watch it over the weekend, probably on Saturday afternoon, because Saturday evening we're watching It's a Mad World. I got to count the mads because there's 4 of them in there. We're going to be watching It's a Mad World in the evening, which will be something completely opposite, something that requires brain power for a little bit more focus to follow the plot. My brain was all over the place last night, and I just kept losing track of the plot and everything else. I was sort of like, oh, I've got to look up this, I've got to look up that. So I was not in the right frame of mind to watch a movie. So completely on me for forgetting that it was an Alfred Hitchcock movie. But I do know that it is a good movie. I've seen it once before, but it's been a long time. We're talking probably around that 30-year mark since I last saw it. Excuse me. One moment. Feels a little better. So yes. So we will be watching it this coming weekend, and we'll give you a report on it on Saturday night on our podcast. So what are we watching tonight? So this week on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to be watching Audrey Hepburn movies. It's just how the schedule worked out. I thought, oh, we'll put that one there and that one there. And then I went back to fill in my little chart as to who stars in the movie, and I had 4 Audrey Hepburns in a row. I was like, well, that's interesting, isn't it? So tonight is Sabrina with Humphrey Bogart, Audrey Hepburn, and William Holden. On Tuesday, we're going to be watching Roman Holiday with Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn. On Wednesday, it's going to be Breakfast at Tiffany's with George Peppard and Audrey Hepburn. And then on Thursday, it's going to be Paris When It Sizzles with William Holden and Audrey Hepburn. So for the next 4 nights, we've got a Hepburn mini movie feast going on in the middle of our classic movies. And tomorrow and Wednesday, I'm going to be tied up with Networking Riches. Starting tomorrow, we still have space if you want to come join us. Just go to havetonetwork.com. It's going across the bottom of the screen there. Come join us live. Let's see. Come join us live at Networking Riches. Go to have to net. I should have had this already ready to go, but I keep forgetting to do it. Okay, so that's going to be putting it on there. I'd only put it on the YouTube, but I did not put it on Facebook, so we'll have to go do that separately. But anyway, so yeah, we've got that coming up over the next 2 days. Super, super excited. I always get excited when it comes to Networking Riches. And if you were with us Thursday the 13th of June, it was show number 1778. We had Casey come on, and we talked about networking. We talked about Networking Riches, and why it's such a great program that he has for helping people to be able to make money from networking in a way, and helping to it actually gives you a different perspective on how to network and how to network effectively. And, what sort of conversations are you having? And he shows you how to change those conversations around a little bit as well. But of course, my favorite part is the breakthrough zones, when we actually do mini hot seats. And that's when we take somebody, we put them in the hot seat or the breakthrough zone, and they bring up one issue that they are having in their business, and then the coaches come together and brainstorm different ideas, different ways, a new set of eyeballs on the business, and they can then help you maybe kickstart. There's been a lot of breakthroughs come through that. The breakdown is, this is the issue I have. The breakthrough comes through when the coaches get together and start brainstorming different ideas and things that this person could possibly do to help turn their business around or help overcome that obstacle that they have or break through the obstacle that they have. That's my favorite part, because it doesn't matter what business that person is, whether they're insurance, real estate, if they are just starting a business, if they've been in business for 30 years, if they've got a network marketing business, if they've got a traditional business, if they're brick and mortar, if they're online, it doesn't matter what type of business they have, because a lot of what the coaching that you get can actually be applied to other businesses by turning around and ask, you might see a real estate agent up there and go, I don't have anything to do with real estate. Yeah, but what the ideas that they're giving could easily be applied to your business by asking the question, how can I make blah, 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 blah work in my business? And that blah, 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 blah is whatever idea they've just put up on the whiteboard. There is so much. And what is really cool is I like to sit back and I like to watch the person who is in the chair, and you see those light bulb moments. And if I'm in gallery view on Zoom, I can see the faces of all the other people that are on camera. And I'm just like, yeah, there's been some break. And not only does the person in the chair get a breakthrough, but people in the who are attending the event also get a breakthrough in their business. And some of them don't even realize it. And some of them sort of like, oh my gosh, that's a great golden nugget. And they wrote golden nugget down, and that golden nugget kind of becomes their thing that they are going to go and do at the end of the day. And some people come back the next day and say, hey, look, I picked up this golden nugget from yesterday. And so last night I went and did blah, 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 blah. And this is the result I'm already receiving. So there's also hands-on experience. There's hands-on exercises as well. So it's not just sit back and listen. It is full-on participation. And it is going to be an absolute blast. So I am totally looking forward to that. And then I have, what was the other thing I was going to talk about? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that kind of gave me a bit of a fright yesterday. So I saw this so this is just in my opinion. This piece is going to be totally in my opinion. It is not a fact. It is totally my opinion on what has happened with this. So yesterday I was out and about doing some errands, and I saw this really cool car. Now this car looked really, really cool. And I thought, I wonder what sort of car that is, because I had not seen this car before. And as we pulled up to the traffic light, Zippy's in the back seat. As we pulled up to the traffic light, we went out for a drive later on. As we pulled up to the traffic light, I noticed that it had the Mustang logo on the back, and I'm like, that's not a Mustang. Why has it got a Mustang logo on? That's not a Mustang. So I came home and I Googled Mustang and had a look at it, and I went, that was a Mustang. And I'm like, huh. And I'm like looking at this thing, and I'm like, to me, in my opinion, there was a disconnect. In my head, there was a disconnect, because when I think Mustang, I'm thinking American muscle car, classic cars, just those ones that sports car type thing. I just think of the classic cars. Brad's favorite car, his dream car, was a Mustang, and I cannot remember the year. It was 1960 something, but it was a Mark I convertible. I think it was a convertible he wanted, because that's the only way he was going to be able to fit in one because of his height. But his was a Mark I Mustang, and I can't remember. I know it was 1960 something. I can't remember the year of it. I mean, if I go and Google it, I'll probably find it. And that was his dream car. So, of course, that was the picture I had in my mind. Whenever I see a Mustang, I'm thinking of these beautiful classic cars and these, these old muscle cars and things like that. And I see this gorgeous car on. It was a gorgeous looking vehicle. I see this gorgeous car on the road, and it had a Mustang thingy on it. And to me, it just did not compute. It did not compute with the brand that Mustang has created over the years of being this muscle sports car, classic type vehicle. And I was just sort of like, I have a little bit of a disconnect. It's going to take me a while to process this one. But, if you've seen the new Mustang, when you hear the word Mustang for a vehicle, what comes to your mind? And I'm just curious, because, and to me, in my head, there's a huge disconnect between, and if Mustang's going to put out this type of car, I'm all for it, but maybe under a different name than the Mustang. I mean, to me, it was just there's a disconnect in my head between what the name Mustang means to me and to what this car looked like. There was this big disconnect. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a gorgeous looking car. And I don't usually take notice of cars. I know what I like, and half the time I couldn't even tell you what the make and model was, but this was a Mustang. That one I know because it had the horse symbol on the back that everybody knows the Mustang horse symbol. And yeah. So my question to you tonight is, one, have you seen The Man Who Knew Too Much? And what did you think of that? What's your favorite scene? I am going to be watching it again this weekend, so I'll give you a full report on it on Saturday. Come to Networking Riches. Link's going across the bottom of the screen. For those on Facebook, I'll be putting it into the comments after this live. And then for those that have seen the new Mustang, when you hear the word Mustang in relation to motor vehicles, what is your initial how do you get down thumbs from this? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. What is your thought when you hear the word Mustang in relation to motor vehicles? Where does your mind go? What words pop into your mind about what a Mustang is? And have you seen the new 2024 Mustang? And does that connect with what you think a Mustang is? So I'm curious. That's a curious question I have. I might even do a separate video about that, just to get people's opinions and their thoughts about that. So anyway, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm going to go out into triple digits. I've got no idea what temperature it is outside, except it's hot. We did get rain this morning. It was a little sprinkle. I looked up. I was sitting at the dining table. I looked up and I could see that this wet patch on the patio. I'm like, is it raining? Because we have a patch about this bit, about a foot that sticks out from underneath the patio, the roof of the patio, and it was wet. Well, part of it was wet. And so I go out there and I'm just standing there on the edge of the patio because I didn't have shoes on and it's gravel. And I'm standing there and I'm just sort of like, it's raining. And so I'm standing there and I'm just dancing away underneath just dancing a little bit, chanting, being grateful for the rain and everything else, and just enjoying the little bits of sprinkles that are happening on my face. And I checked, there was nobody doing any window washing, so it was not back spray from that. It was actual rain. And get all the sprinkles, and this piece along the edge of the patio was all wet and everything else. Zeffie comes out. Oh, Mum's outside. Let's go outside. So Zeffie comes out. She gets to the edge of the wet patch and she sticks her nose up in the air and sniffs all around. And then she just turns around and walks back inside. And when I got back inside, her muzzle was just a little wet, but that was it. Everything else was dry. She hates the rain. And then I turn around and like 2 minutes later, I turn around and I look back outside. There's no sign. The concrete's completely dry. So yeah, it didn't last very long. The little bit that we had. Not even enough to water my grass out front. So, and that's looking actually, it does look a little greener today. So maybe that sprinkling rain did help some. So it's been a very mixed day today. But anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. And if you're going to join us at Networking Riches tomorrow, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on screen. I'm still deciding if I'm going to wear my tiara or not, because I felt like I might need a little extra sparkle, but I might just leave that sitting over there. And if anybody mentions it, I can put it on. It's within easy reach. So go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, konera.